Dr. Elaine Chin, congratulations. What a fantastic space this is. What a great event.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for joining us today and coming to our party.
Well,
our
thank you
grand
for
opening.
the invitation and these delicious smoothies I've been enjoying.
Well, it's our new way of saying this is how healthy eating looks like.
Well, if that's what it looks like, sign me up. Delicious.
Well, you are on.
1 Yorkville. It's an unbelievable address. I've lived my entire life in this city. 1 Yorkville is a heck of an address. Wow.
Oh, thank you. You know what? We're really blessed. You know, sometimes when you make a decision that you got to step up, you have the universe come to you, right? And here we are.
Well, I'm taking notes because I want the universe to come to me.
Okay.
So. What made you, Dr. Chin, what made you dedicate your career to transformative healthcare?
There are 3 things that I realized. The first one was when I was a teenager, my uncle had a brain tumor, and I think I was in my teenage years, and I realized that science was amazing, right? You can do chemo, radiation, and people get better. But then he had 3 bouts of it, and I thought, well, there's also something to be said about an executive working really hard, not sleeping, partying hard. Back in those days, he would talk about, you know, the Playboy mansions all around the world, the Playboy clubs, and his fast life. And that was data number 1. Data point number 2 was probably when I started practicing. And I thought I'd just come out 1 year, just going to hang out and do other things before I went back into residency. And I went to a nursing home. And I'm looking at these patients because at that time I was going to be an IVF doctor. So that was babies and whatnot. Right. And here we are at the other end of the spectrum.
Right.
And these people are in bed or in wheelchairs. And I said, oh my God, us doctors put them there because we never teach them how to not be there, because a lot of it was diabetes, a lot of it was hypertension, related strokes. And I was like, this is not right. And then the third part was being in family practice. And that was 1989. And I realized, wow, you know, I can't even do anything. Like, how do you take care of people for 5 minutes? You go to school, you learn all these amazing things. And at that time, the CT scan was new, the MRI was coming around. And I go out to periphery and you can't order it. Like, what, right? So I made a decision after that I would figure out a way. So I went to business school, and that helped me put a framework around what we're doing here. So this is what this is, a framework of 1994.
And now we're having a party.
That's right, we've landed. The eagle has landed, and there's more to do and harvest on the moon, right?
Well, there's honestly, I want to talk to you about that, but there's a huge crowd here, great music, great vibes, just a great energy in this
well,
space.
you know, over the journey, you know, when you're honest to people and you tell people that what I'm telling you is in your best interest, and I have your life in my hands, and I'm going to make damn sure that it's full and it's healthy. I have fans, right? And they're my clients, they're my friends.
Right.
And I appreciate them, and obviously they appreciate me today.
Well, without a doubt. Now, so Dr. Chin, you're a leading authority on precision healthcare. Mm-hmm. You're a celebrated author. So my big question for you is, where the heck do you find the time?
I only had 1 child.
That's where I went wrong.
And I think the other thing is early on I jumped ship and I started working in this world of personalized medicine. It's not something that's covered by OHIP because OHIP only takes care of disease management. And here we are, we're in prevention, and therefore it's not covered. But then that allows me to have a limited number of clients because they pay me on an annual fee. And this is how I can properly take care of them and find time to do the things that are also important for the community.
Would you mind elaborating a little bit on the regenerative, easy for you to say.
Regen medicine.
Regen, thank you for allowing me to shorten that. Because I trip on that every single time. Okay. Regen medicine.
Yeah.
Like I took a peek at what was happening in the installation next door just tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so for the last 10 years, I would say that people would be talking about stem cells and stem cells this, and then they would tell me that, oh, I got it out of my ass, literally, because they're like harvesting fat cells. And that's so rudimentary, bizarre. The last real legit thing was probably cord blood when we have our babies, and you can have the option of cryopreserving cord blood, right? So they have stem cells in that. And so now here we are, 2024, and Dr. Drew Taylor, which I hope you'll have a chance to speak to,
Absolutely.
has worked 10 years, most of his career now, to get it to where it is. And for the first time, really, in the world, we are now going to be the beneficiary of stem cells that are easily harvested from your hair follicles. And from that, stem cells means that it's a cell that can become anything. It's bizarre. There's a couple of places in your body that can do that. And then you can generate certain skin lines or hair lines or muscle lines or bone lines, liver lines, pancreas lines. And from that, today we can do it as a regenerative cosmetic type procedure to help with making your hair more full and your face glow and look more youthful. But in the very near future, it's like PRP 2.0, using your own stem cell derived treatments, serum-like, that you can then put back into areas of injury and illness. And then right now at Mount Sinai Hospital, they're working on these islet cells and starting to manufacture your own insulin. So we're there, and this is real, and it's really hard. I remember the year 2000, because I remember having an article in the Globe Mail saying, if you had a crystal ball, would you like to know about your genetics? And people used to look at me and like, what are you talking about? Smoking,
Well, it sounds like science fiction.
Exactly, and I've spent most of my career, actually all of it, trying to make sure that everything I do science-based and legit. So I have street creds. So I'm here to tell you, stem cell-derived treatments are now here. It's at the Bespoke Wellness Group right here in One Yorkville in Toronto in Canada. And you're one of the very first to interview me about it.
Oh my goodness, I'm honored. I'm honored. So you can harness the power of your own stem cells, and you could do it right here, One
That's
Yorkville.
Right. Exactly. Simple as that.
Well, congratulations.
It is painless.
Yeah, Well, I've got lots of hair. I feel like will that help?
Yes.
Okay, good. Honestly, what a pleasure it is to chat with you about this, and much success here.
Thank you.
Amazing opening night, and I'm just honored to be here.
Well, come hang out afterwards.
I'm not going anywhere.
All right. Take care.
You.
Thank you.
I feel like Dr. Elaine Chin was like the opening act, and we were talking about what's going on next door, and she says, you need to speak to Drew Taylor. You're the founder of Acorn.
I am. That's very kind of her. It's tough to follow Dr. Chin, so we'll give it my best shot.
Yeah, well, good luck to you. I do want to talk to you about the future of she says I can say regen. I'm having trouble with regenerate.
Regenerative medicine.
Yes, okay. I'm going to call it regen treatments.
Perfect.
But I heard through the grapevine you played professional baseball.
I did. Not that well, but I gave it my best shot. I was a better scientist, so it worked out. Okay, that's good for us, but you need to be a certain level of wellness, if you will, to play professional baseball. Like, can you give me a little inside? Look, I was lucky. I come from a bit of a medical/baseball family. So my father is Ron Taylor, and he played for the
I know this name.
Miracle Mets.
Is he in the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame?
He's in the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a big name. I'm always talking to the baseball journalists like Bob Elliott and stuff.
So Bob Elliott is a good family friend, and obviously he and my dad were quite close, and I was lucky enough to get quite close with Bob as well.
Amazing, but baseball wasn't for you. You had a higher calling here. Well,
I went down to University of Michigan, played baseball for them, had a great career for the Wolverines. Captained the team my last year. We won the Big Ten, and I got signed by the Blue Jays, which was fantastic. So I went off to minor leagues in Dunedin.
Yeah.
And spent 2 and a bit years with the Blue Jays in the minor leagues. Battled back from, I had a shoulder injury, so I tore my labrum and supraspinatus, and rehab back from that. came back, was still getting outs, but lost a little bit of the zip on the fastball. So the Jays put me up on waivers. I think the Phillies picked me up on a whim to see if I'd bounce back, but evidently I just never gained that last little zip back.
And is this when you decided time to pivot?
Well, technically, I was doing it all along.
Okay.
So again, the example with my dad was great. So I actually did my PhD in the off season. So I graduated my undergrad and master's after 4 years in Michigan. So it was I worked hard, and then I started a PhD in the off seasons when I was playing professionally. And so I had to get a little bit of permission from my professors at U of T to miss a lot of class, but it worked out very well.
Now I need to hear about the future of regen treatment. So what's going on next door?
Everything next door. Dr. Chen has really put together a multitude of technologies and packaged them in a way that I think is pretty digestible for people to engage with and incorporate into their everyday lives. And that's what I really appreciate about what she's done. And obviously myself and our team at Acorn is playing a small part of that. And we try to take care of a segment of that, the regenerative medicine segment. But she's really brought together a multitude of things to really provide a comprehensive, bespoke offering to patients.
And tell me a little bit more about your relationship with Dr. Elaine Chen.
Well, I trust her in two categories. One, personally, I've got a demanding life. We've got 3 boys at home, want to spend as much time with my family as possible and also be able to work hard. And so I trust her to make sure that I continue to perform at my best, both at work and home. So she's been a phenomenal resource for me as a physician to guide my healthcare journey. But on top of that, I've trusted in working with her to essentially provide our services as an offering to her patients and make sure they have access to it.
Amazing. What do you think of this space here at 1 Yorkville?
It's phenomenal. I think this is the new wellness hub in Toronto.
And what an address, right? Like my mind's blowing. Oh yeah, I'm going to 1 Yorkville.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty simple to remember, and I really feel like this is going to be the center of wellness for the city.
And what do you think of the smoothies?
The smoothies are legendary. Those already have percolated and are in the minds of everybody locally that stops by in the morning and grabs one on the way. And I certainly have the odd time. I have to go down a little further. My offices are down at Toronto General, but I stop sometimes on the way down.
Amazing. What a great conversation, and it's been a pleasure meeting you, Drew. Thanks for this time.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you. What a pleasure to meet you.
Same here.
What do you think about this party at 1 Yorkville?
It's long overdue. I've been hearing about this party happening probably for about a year now.
See, I'm interested in this because I've heard about city inspections and red tape and making this happen, and it sounds like it was a long haul. So you've been hearing about this. What's your relationship with Dr. Elaine Chen?
It's been quite long. I've known Elaine for probably good 12 to 15 years now. So a friend of mine introduced me to her way back. 15 years ago. We were playing golf, and I was what I thought I was in great health. And I've been an avid fitness freak kind of a person, so always kind of looked after myself. And we were playing golf, and he goes, Dave, you should go and visit a friend of mine. She's a doctor, does various different tests on you. And I said, I don't need one.
Yeah, you're in good condition.
I'm
right?
in good condition. Good I'm running, I'm playing soccer.
Right.
I'm doing a lot of activities. He goes, trust me, go. I said, you see something wrong with me? He goes, no, but I want you to go. Now you're 55, so came to see her, and she's got some tests done, and she said, oh, there's something in your body.
Really?
That needs to be taken care of.
I need some details here. So you felt great.
Yeah.
Active.
Totally fine.
Running marathons.
Running, marathons, you name it. You know.
Your friend at a golf match or whatever, your friend says you need to talk to Dr. Elaine Chin.
He just saw and
at the Bespoke Wellness Group.
Yeah, and I was doing a lot of fitness training, weights and everything else, and I thought I felt like I felt like 30, and I was playing competitive soccer at 55 too.
Wow.
So I thought, you know what? Anyway.
But you trusted your friends, so you go to the Bespoke Wellness Group and they do tests. And what do you learn?
And what I learned was that, hey, there's something in your body that's growing and that shouldn't be.
Wow.
And before I knew, she had me operated on.
Wow.
And if I hadn't found out, which I probably wouldn't have, I don't think I'd be around and talking to you today.
This story is incredible.
Yeah. So
like we talk about prevention, and if you don't find this early, you'd be reacting to something after it was too late.
Yeah. So I was always told I was the healthiest 55 years old by my friends, by my teams, and guys used to say, hey, I would love to be in your condition when I'm 55.
Sure.
And deep down, and I didn't have a clue. And 2 years later, she waited, as things progressed, and she had me in the hospital, got operated, checked out, test every couple of years, 5 years. And 10 years, and they said, you're fine, everything is good.
Well, first, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
But I'm also glad that you trusted your well-being with Dr. Elaine Chin and the Bespoke Wellness Group. It saved your life.
I would say that. There's probably, the universe has a different meaning for you, so maybe it was just written, that's the way it was going to go, and I was able to, but I seriously think that I wouldn't have doubted. I wouldn't have gone to a doctor's probably for the next 10 years or so. I was in that good a shape, and here I am. So I'm here. My friends are here. My family's here.
Yeah.
She treats. She looks after my son, who's a pro boxer.
Wow.
Have a few athletes in the family that come and get tested, checked, and so on. And from a doctor, we become friends. So today, I think I would rather call Elaine a friend than my doctor.
Well, I've noticed at this event that 150 people are her friend here. Like, I think that once you trust your care to Dr. Elaine Chin and the Bespoke Wellness Group, she becomes a friend because she seems to care, and it absolutely worked for you.
And she doesn't hold it back. She tells you as it is.
Good.
And if you miss your appointment, you're gonna get a phone call and say what the, and some choice words come with it too.
Here's my question. So after you have this surgery that ends up saving your life, what do you say to your friend who told you, trust me, go see Dr. Elaine Chin at the Bespoke Wellness Group?
My friend, when I do talk to him, he's moved abroad now. But when I do talk to him, I thank him. I say, I don't know what you saw in it.
Wow.
And he said he didn't see anything in me. He said just from a friend to friend, and he was an avid smoker. So he was probably visiting Elaine a lot earlier than me. And
right.
I just say thank you. And there's probably a few more since I have been seeing her. And there's others that I think she changed their way of kind of her everyday living. And, I think more family members have been helped. Yeah.
Well, again, so glad that you went and saw Dr. Elaine Chin, and I'm glad you sat down and told that story. I got goosebumps hearing that story. That's quite a story.
So thank you for having me here anyway. As I said, I appreciate Elaine, what she does.
Yeah. And enjoy the smoothies too, right? They're pretty good too.
Thank you. And I think she's got a great team here too. Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dwight Drummond, good to see you again.
Good to see you, man. People still tell me about the time I talked to Mike back in the day.
Toronto Mike and Dwight Drummond.
Mike. Yeah, well, it was fun. I had a lot of fun, and people are still listening to it, obviously, because they're commenting.
It's evergreen,
to me about
it's never going to get old.
And we talked about Joel Goldberg, and my man's in the house tonight, so that's kind of cool. It's like a little reunion. Dominic Shulo's here too.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a reunion, and I get, man. You know what I get? I get the old 299 Queen Street West vibe from this space right here.
Most definitely, right? And they're talking about Speaker's Corner for wellness.
Yeah, I do. So you get in vibes too? I know you were, we've talked about it on my podcast, but, before you were a trusted news anchor, you were doing this and that at Electric Circus and everything.
That's how you get your foot in the door. I worry about the kids today because back in those days, I could get my foot in the door, pull some cable, climb some ladders, hang some lights, and then the next thing I'm in front of the camera after I just hung the lights. It was a really cool time in the industry. And there was this young guy coming up making music videos for people like Maestro Fresh West, the Dream Warriors, Stevie B, and that was kind of our side hustle on the weekends. We'd do Electric Circus and then go spend the rest of the weekend shooting these videos.
And for those who don't know, before we talk about your wellness journey, we gotta tell people the great video for Let Your Backbone Slide, okay?
Yes, sir.
Come on, that's like the first big Canadian hip-hop hit.
It really was. Yeah, like it was our, especially for my generation, because I was of that age, and to be like a 21-year-old there working on this video. Now, we knew it was a good song because it was so catchy, and Maestro's a very talented man. He's still at it.
Yeah.
Love to hear that. He's an author, actor now. But it was really cool being in that space, and we knew we had a hit, but did we know it was going to be Canadiana? That like decades later, kids are going to be still talking about it in that video and that song. It was
and you got
cool
a cameo.
It was so cool to be a part of it, man. Work behind the scenes on that video and a little cameo off the top in front of the camera, thanks to my friend, Mr. Joel Goldberg.
Now, why do you, Dwight Drummond, why do you trust your well-being with Dr. Elaine Chin?
So I know Dr. Elaine Chin through my friend Dominic Shulo, one of her partners. But I'm just one of those people who I'm trying to stay young, man. I'm trying to stay healthy. I'm trying to stay active. And I go to the gym. I do the yoga. I do the Pilates. I try to do all those things. And over the years, I've been talking to her about these things. And she says, well, eventually I'm going to open a clinic and I'm going to have all of this in one space. And, we all would love to live a little longer, but we also want to live longer healthy, and have the mobility. Quality years and everything that goes with it, because I would love to be able to chase around some grandkids. So, that's kind of why I'm here to check out the space and see what's happening, because she's been talking about it for quite a while now.
The Bespoke Wellness Group.
Yes.
So can we give Dr. Elaine Chin some credit for how damn good you're looking, how young you're looking? Come on, Dwight.
We will see after a few more visits here. I will talk about that. But she does give good advice, and she gives advice in the media too. But she does give good advice, and for me, what you heard in her speech tonight, right? It's just about that total health, mind, body, everything, and as we move forward in society with all the issues we're having right now, especially after COVID, which is what she said in her speech, we need something like this. We need these kind of spaces to kind of help with our well-being, both physically and mentally.
Did you get yourself a smoothie?
I think the one that was supposed to give me energy, but you know what? I already told them.
You're full of it.
I'm going to buy one on the way home because I saw one up there. I might have to put in the fridge and have for breakfast in the morning, sir.
Dwight Drummond, always a pleasure to talk to you, man. When I need to know what's going on in my city, where I tune in.
I appreciate
CBC
it,
News to get Dwight Drummond, tell me what's going on. Thanks for this, buddy.
Thank you, Mike.
So the previous guest was Dwight Drummond, who has a cameo in the early Maestro Fresh West videos. Okay, Let Your Backbone Slide, Drop the Needle. By the way, those videos were directed by Joel Goldberg, no relation, I learned, but he's here tonight. I was just chatting with Joel a moment ago. And what were you telling me? You hosted a hip-hop show?
You bet. So while I was in medical school at Queen's University, a friend of mine and I, we had a hip-hop and rap radio show for 3 years. And I got to interview Maestro Fresh West. He came to Kingston for a concert, and he was looking for someone to interview on for air. So I got to meet him. That was a lot of fun.
But are we talking? What are we talking? Late '80s, early '90s?
Early '90s. I hate to date myself.
You look great. It was midnight. We know who to give credit for that.
Well, that's my healthy longevity coming in.
Well, we're gonna talk about that. But I'm wondering, did you get to talk to, for example, the Dream Warriors? I'm just throwing names at you right now.
No, I would have loved to. That would have been a dream.
It's all about Joel Goldberg today.
Okay, so I got to read the other Goldberg.
Yeah, he directed the Dream Warriors videos too. He's tight with those guys. But good to meet you. So tell me, you're a plastic surgeon?
You got it, exactly.
Okay, do I need any work?
You're perfect the way you are. Don't change a thing. Promise.
I got that recorded.
That's my professional opinion, too.
Please, tell me about working with the Bespoke Wellness Group.
Wow. So, I mean, I'm honored to be a part of this journey with Elaine for many years now. We opened together at the Four Seasons, the original site, through the pandemic, and that didn't work out. And this has been a long time in coming, and it's a dream come true. I mean, really, I'm so proud of Elaine. It's been so much work to do this. But this dream of bringing healthy longevity to the public is one which has such a public impact, and I'm really excited to be a part of that. And my role is on bringing beauty span and sort of a beauty slant to bringing health.
Is Elaine a hip-hop head? Do we know this?
I don't know that, but I'd like to convert her if I could.
Yeah, we absolutely should. So what do you think of this space? This is the grand opening, and it's just bananas. It's amazing.
Yeah, the space is spectacular, well designed, and I think that the location and the way that this has been set up is really going to help get the message out about what really is important about people's health and helping to promote healthy longevity.
Without a doubt. Now, how long you been doing your work as a surgeon?
Well, as a surgeon, I've been 17 years a surgeon, and my plastic surgery career is I'm a craniofacial plastic surgeon, so I do a lot of facial restorations and rejuvenation. But I realize over time, I mean, the right thing to do for patients is to maintain their health and help them be as healthy as possible, both for the fact that it makes for better surgical outcomes, but also prevent surgery. I mean, the goal is to be beautiful through health, and that's the right message to get to people.
That's a great message, because looking great and then falling apart on the inside, like, nobody wants that, right?
Yeah, it's true. And the beauty industry has become very accustomed, much like healthcare. It's a patchwork. It's wait for something to break or fall apart, and then you try and fix it. And that's not the right approach. The right approach is preventative. It's precision. It's to try and get to people ahead of time and maintain them in a healthy fashion.
So what are you doing personally for your healthcare journey?
A couple things that I do. One, I'm a plant-based person. I've been that way for 7 years. My wife and I, Stephanie Lust, she and I have founded this beauty span idea, and together, I mean, we've followed this plant-based journey for 7 years. And I'm a strong believer, and so that's a huge contributing factor. And the other thing, there's a particular supplement that I've talked to Elaine about a lot called glycidin, and I'm a huge fan of that. It's a major antioxidant, and that's a big contributing factor to health as well.
So what does that do?
So the antioxidant thing is a very interesting topic, because most studies that have looked at antioxidants have shown little or no effect. But this stuff is particular because it's an enzymatic. So it's sort of a multiple. When you use an enzyme for an antioxidant, it's 1,000,000 times more effective than sort of a standard one. So this stuff is really it's a very unique entity, and this is why I talk about it a lot. So 14 years I've been using that stuff and trying to help promote it as well.
Are we living in the future? Serious question. I heard what's going on next door, for example, with the regen, and it feels like Minority Report or some kind of Spielberg movie.
You know what? You're right. This is it. We are on the threshold of that, and there are those people who believe that we're going to reach this thing called escape velocity, where we can lengthen human lifespan beyond the norm and potentially indefinitely. That's still up for debate. I question that, but certainly expanding lifespan, maximizing health span during a person's lifespan is very real, and that's here today. The science is there.
I have a dear friend who's a funeral director. I worry for him. Okay? If you guys have your way, you'll have
If we have our way, the funeral industry is going to go down.
Dr. Goldberg, you may not have directed any Maestro Fresh West videos, but you're doing some very interesting stuff here. So thanks for the convo, man.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you so much for the time, Mike.
Take care.
Take care.
He's here. Were your ears burning, Joel Goldberg? Because I had multiple guests in a row. One gentleman you might know, Dwight Drummond. You ever heard of this guy?
My boy Dwight. I love him.
And then, of course, we talked about how you're the reason Dwight Drummond got those cameos in the early Maestro Fresh West videos, because in addition to co-creating Electric Circus, do you like co-creating or creating? What's more
co-creating?
Accurate? Okay, I don't want to upset anybody.
Yeah, Moses. It was Moses' idea. I'm the one who carried it out.
Okay, co-creating Electric Circus, which was a big show on both City TV and Much Music. But you also directed many a great music video, including some with Dwight Drummond having cameo appearances.
Dwight, before he was Dwight Drummond.
Before he was Dwight Drummond. And then I had on a very interesting gentleman. He's a plastic surgeon. And when he was at school in Kingston, he was hosting a hip-hop radio show on the campus, and he interviewed Maestro Fresh Wes.
Oh, man, that's great.
I know. How's Maestro doing? Any contact with him lately?
Not lately.
He's a busy man.
He's a busy man, but he's salt of the earth. He's one of the greatest people I've ever met. Smart and generous, good, very, very good person.
What do you think of this bash here? We're at 1 Yorkville. I think this is a great vibe.
It's a great vibe, and it's a beautiful location, and it's a gorgeous building.
Yeah.
And what her plans are and what she's doing is really, really impressive. What impresses me most about what she's doing is the emphasis on prevention. And that's something I think should be built into the Canada healthcare system. You teach people to stay in good shape, to have a healthy mind and a healthy body. How do you do that? You come here and you learn about different ways to do it, and then the preventative medicine helps in.
Yes.
It can save the country tons of money if people are not getting sick, if they learn how to be a little healthy.
Yeah, it's amazing what the Bespoke Wellness Group is up to in that regard. And you're right. Typically in our Canadian healthcare system, you got a problem, we treat this problem. But man, prevention and preventing these problems in the first place, far more effective, efficient, and longer, happier life.
That's what hit me most about the doctor's speech is, why are we reacting? When people get sick or when people get hurt, we're reacting, but we can prevent that from happening, and that saves a lot of money and a lot of pain and a lot of issues. So I really like what they're doing, and also the push towards the future, the alternative medicines that they're talking about and the alternative ways of doing things.
Without a doubt. Yeah, it was a great speech by Dr. Elaine Chin. Glad you're here. Is there a better address for in the city?
No, and the team that she's put together is really, really impressive. But above all, she is impressive. Her ideas, the way she communicates, you can tell why she's so successful.
Now, I'm glad you're here because you were around 299 Queen Street West, right, in those glory days of Chum City.
Yep.
I was talking to Dominic Schulo earlier, and he was comparing the spirit of this space with the spirit of that space. And I totally see the parallels.
Me too. I mean, it's street front, storefront. First of all, you're getting a lot of foot traffic. You have the windows so people can look in, see what's happening.
I still see Steve Anthony over there.
Exactly. You've got this space here where people can do seminars, interactive podcast, broadcasts.
It's like a hub.
It's a hub, and it's like you couldn't ask for a better address. And
1 Yorkville.
Yeah, what hits me, though, is the fact that it's street front, storefront, and even today, during this event, you see the people walking by and looking in.
Yeah, it's a great spirit here, and like I said, wonderful space, and what they're up to at the Bespoke Wellness Group, highly impressive. I feel like I'm going to live to be 130 years old.
I hope so, and I hope you're healthy.
I hope we meet up and have a conversation on your 120th birthday.
I'll be around.
Looking great, Joel. Nice to chat with you again.
Thank you, Toronto Mike.